button. So
I'm
mind
cleaning
your
up thing.
P's and Q's. We're on live.
This is on your channel?
Yes.
I like you. What's your channel's name?
Man, that's cold-blooded, man. So far, we're just going to wait a little while till some people join in.
Yeah, it gives me time to clean up. Maybe I get a drink. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't see anyone on yet, so.
It's all good.
I'm here to talk to you guys.
Yeah. This is how it always turns out. It just turns into a Zoom call. I forget people are watching.
Let's talk about that Jackie Robinson photo.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
I was waiting for PSA to get it back to me. I never submitted one of those before, and Rick did all these cool, different pictures he submitted, and I was like, man, I got to try to do this, and it was really cool, really good experience. I know people are down on him for all kinds of different reasons, but it wasn't super expensive. It was really nicely done. It was quick. I guess they have to ship it to New York from California and then ship it back. And that took, like 3 weeks. It wasn't slow at all.
Wow, that's right.
Hey, Adam, how you doing, Adam?
Why did they send it to New York?
The two guys that do the authentication are this guy, Henry Yee, and then Marshall Fogel, who's like, Marshall Fogel, he's like, he owns like some of the top sets, like in their set registries and all that stuff. He has a PSA 10 52 Mantle, just unbelievable. Like, he's this attorney guy who's got all these massive collections, Jackie Robinson, rookies and nines, that kind of stuff. But he's apparently wrote the book on photos.
Do you get them from PWCC?
Yeah, right.
Anything from the 50s that's higher than 8 is suspect. But happy. I'm happy for him. Shit. I'm just hating. Dang. Give me a 52 authentic. I'll take it authentic.
Yeah, most of us that have a 52 Mantle, we get them out of the river, right?
Yeah, right.
Some of the ones that were dumped there.
I don't know who you're talking about with a 52 Mantle.
I don't know who has one. Do you know anybody that has one, James?
I don't know what you're talking about. I got a new pack, my first card since coming back into the hobby after a long hiatus. So I'll share this with you at some point during the live stream. Basically, I just want some of my friends back with me on this live stream because as you've noticed, I've taken a little bit of time off due to COVID. So COVID knocked me down pretty much the whole month of October, and I lost a lot of strength and energy and trying to get my health back in order and things back in order in my life that basically the hobby and YouTube took a back seat. But I'm back to feeling a little more normal now, and I wanted some of my friends to join me on this live stream to kick things back off. So thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah, you had me and John worried.
Yeah, for real. We had to keep checking on you. But you did disappoint me. I thought we agreed you were going to come out of the basement and do the big COVID reveal.
Like Dracula.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for always supporting me throughout the time that I was not feeling myself, and you guys kept checking in on me, and not just you guys, but a lot of other people in the card community. This card community is great because we have each other's back that way. I love it.
Heck
Hey,
yeah.
I see some people are on already. David M, Card Closet, Liam. Hey guys, how you doing? So basically, I just want to talk some baseball cards. What do you think about this free agency going on right now? People throwing money at so many players right now. What do you think?
I love it. It's like fantasy baseball. The Rangers, they go through the ebbs and flows. They do this, but what the owner of the Mets is staying true to his promise. He wants a championship within 3 or 5 years. I think he's going for the shorter window. I mean, to have DeGrom and Scherzer, and what I love about Scherzer is he's a competitor, and the guy has his Cy Young, so does DeGrom. They're gonna bring that competition from within. Who's gonna be the opening day starter? It's got to be DeGrom, right? Or is it gonna be the
If
40
he's
million?
healthy.
Or is it the $40 million pitcher? You know what I'm saying?
If he's healthy.
I mean, that's his house. He was there.
Right.
So I think what they're trying to replicate, of course you want a three-headed monster. You want the three, at least three, but I think they're taking that model from Arizona when they had Schilling and the big unit, and they just want to get to the postseason. And once they're in the postseason, they're just gonna go 1-2. And I think Randy even came in as for relief in a couple of those games. So I mean, once you have that 1-2 punch, probably the top two pitchers of our generation right now, that's pretty stellar.
The Houston had a little bit of it with Cole and Verlander recently.
Yeah, McCullers. That's McCullers. They had a solid, but I mean, golly, that's just ridiculous.
And the Mets threw money at one other player too, Starling Marte.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big pickup. Some people say steroid guys with Cano and Marte, but nonetheless, that guy's a beast when it comes to setting the table up.
Yeah, I like it.
Yesterday, what was it? Stroman signed a big deal with the Cubbies.
Yeah, Marcus is going to the Windy City. But what the Rangers are doing, that infield with Corey Seager, and Simeon, that's going to be bananas. I mean, to think of what infielders, I think John touched on it in his convo. I forgot the interview. What's that channel's name?
Oh, Dakota, Sports Cards Anonymous.
Yeah, Sports Cards Anonymous. The infielders of today's generation, I mean, and started with A-Rod's generation when you had A-Rod, Miggy, Nomar, when these middle infielders are hitting 30 to 40 home runs, like it was nothing. I mean, it's crazy.
And
Yeah,
what
they
do you
have to
think about the
also-
ones that are still out there, huh, George? Trevor Story is still out there. Correa, where do you think they're going to sign?
I don't know, but I think that Story may be one of the best ones. I mean, really, I know people want to say his Colorado numbers might be inflated, but the guy steals bases. I'm in a National League only 12-team fantasy league for years, and he's just been stealing bases. His average has gone way up, like 280, 290. Chris Bryant brings a lot to the table too, right? He can play outfield, third, first. I know he's not super young. Yeah, he can do a lot of things too. And obviously Correa, he's fantastic. It's exciting to talk about this. And then I got that whole cloud of the lockout over my head right now too, so just all that is kind of going along with this, but it's been super exciting up until today, right? It's been really exciting. Like Lou, what you were saying, I mean, the Mets are going big.
Yeah, the lockout doesn't really worry me like it did. What was it, like 94? This is more the owners pushing the envelope because the players want a bigger piece of the pie. It's not like when the employees walk out because they're not happy with the conditions and the environment, they're not getting paid. The players are just looking for a bigger piece of the pie. I mean, MLB is making. I mean, look at the salaries. That's why there was a fury because they anticipated this. This wasn't a big surprise. That's why Steger signed, Scherzer signed. Obviously, it was stupid money. I was signed too, but that's why there was a nice little fury. They knew there was going to be a nice little break. But the stuff that the players are asking for, I don't think are super crazy. I mean, I think they want to change the arbitration from 6 to 5 years, little bigger percentage and like TV revenue, the luxury tax going up, like a bigger cap threshold. That way teams could spend more money and not be penalized. So, I mean, I think at the end they want the same thing. I think they're just forcing their hands. So that way, these players aren't working out the facilities. They're not signing free agent contracts. I don't think there'll be a delay to the season. I think it'll be like the Hall of Fame vote's still going on. I think the winter meetings are still going to go on. So baseball is going to be business as usual. Players just ain't going to be at the facilities working out, doing things like that.
John, how do you remember 95? When 95 there was that strike, and a lot of people got pissed off at that time because they considered them so greedy, like the players and the owners. Like, how did you take that?
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody was pretty frustrated and got turned off with baseball at that time. And it was the big home run race, McGuire and Sosa, that really brought it back, right? And I was talking about that on my convo. It was like, so, you know, during the steroid era with all those home runs, it was so exciting and it brought fans back to baseball. And when they did away with steroids, they basically had to replace that excitement of home runs. And what did they do? Now everybody's hitting all these home runs. So, you know, the question is, always the question is that ball different? Did they juice the ball or whatever? It's almost like they tried to create this home run thing. That's what's exciting about baseball now. Almost every game's decided with a walk-off home run these days.
But let me tell you this, though. Yeah, people were salty. Thank goodness Sammy and Big Mac brought baseball back. I was upset, but I never left. But if you were a Montreal Expo fan, how salty were you?
Yeah,
I was salty as a Yankee fan because they were the two best teams, the Expos and the Yankees.
That Expos team was scary good.
They were great, but the Yankees were firing on all cylinders in '94. So that was the first taste of the playoffs I was gonna get when I was younger. But
yeah, that was a really season to you had Tony Gwynn hit close to 400.
Yeah.
He was at 394, and the season ended. Ken Griffey and Matt Williams had 43 and 40. Or Griffey had 40 home runs. Williams had 43 home runs in August. It was like this was headed to a big finish. And the Expos and the Yankees. I mean, it was a great season. And man, I was pissed off when that happened. So that's I kind of have. Maybe I have PTSD from that when I'm thinking about, man, what's going to happen soon. I hope what you're saying, Lou, is totally right. I hope they can put their differences aside and understand the players are always looking for a bigger piece of the pie, right?
I was going to bring up that Tony Gwynn. That was, everybody wonders if he could have done that. And of course, there's the opposite argument that he did it in fewer games. So there are lots of guys that have streaks, for a half of the season or certain period of the season that can't keep that level up. So it's always, we'll never know. And I wish we would. I wish we would have.
Tony was just a different animal. He was stuck in a different generation. I mean, he could hit 300 with a number 2 pencil. I mean, I think he would have been at least 390 at least, man.
Yeah. There was some points in the
season. There was some points in the season where he went 1 for 3, or like he go through a streak of 3 for 10 and his average is going down. Like he's hitting 300 for the week and his average is going down. It's crazy.
He was an amazing hitter.
I have a question for you. Based on back in the 90s when we had Wade Boggs in the 80s and Tony Gwynn, nowadays with this launch angle, the average for the players on every team is like 240. Are we ever going to see that type of player ever again?
I mean, I don't think so. Not the way that they're groomed and the way they play the game today. I mean, they go up there looking for home runs, and back then average was one of the biggest things. I mean, when I would get a baseball card and I didn't know a player, the first thing I did was turn it over and look for his batting average. Right now, they're just not as impressive, but the home runs are off the charts.
I mean, you have guys winning Silver Sluggers with 310 batting averages. I think Gurriel had 318, 390, and he's like number 7 in his lineup. He's not even
This is an 82 Topps George Brett or 82 Donruss. There's the batting average, 390 in 1980, right?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like when
I remember.
when the Mayhew got the Silver Slugger, what was it, like 3.6, like his first or second year with the Yankees, like
Yeah.
3. That's a rarity. That's why he got the monster contract, and then of course he regressed. Boo. But I think people like Mayhew, like Nolan Arenado, leaving Colorado is giving people like Trevor Story a chance, because that was always the knock. Oh, those guys ain't gonna hit. But DJ just proved them wrong. I mean, a hitter's gonna hit. Are there advantages to Colorado? Yeah, but that's home field advantage. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You could, like Chicago. Are we gonna penalize people in Chicago? I mean, when the wind is out, you pop it up, it's going out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just, as a fantasy league player, people get hurt or catch COVID or whatever, and I got to go through, the scrap heap to look for players. And the people I'm replacing at times are no worse than the people that went down, because the averages are so similar. And it's a head scratcher after a while. Like, why am I drafting these players first, second, and third round, where I'm getting equal production from people in the scrap heap? It's mind-boggling that there's none of these players anymore.
That's why you draft pitchers in the beginning, because you can find a damn second or utility infielder off the scrap heap. Speaking of head scratchers, Yankees and Kraken, like, I thought Kraken was gone. I thought Gary Sanchez was gone. Talk about people who can't hit, but there's nothing out there. Like, who you gonna replace them with? You know what I'm saying?
I wanted JT Realmuto before he went to the Phillies, so
Yeah.
I'm
And so did everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
just
John, you look like you were going to say something. What's on your
Yeah, I
mind?
was just gonna say I was watching this old World Series from the 50s, right? And there was a guy at first, and Duke Snyder was out, and he bunted the guy over to second, and he was trying to get a hit out of it. But I was like, I thought to myself immediately, can you imagine a home run hitter today,
Aaron Judge,
trying to bunt, like actually just bunting for the team effort, to sacrifice somebody over? I mean, you would never see that today. So, the game's changed in a big way. This is a guy hits 500 home runs, right? And he's bunting.
Yeah.
And that's, the game was just more strategic back then.
I'm sorry, George. I'm working on a video presently, my first video other than this one, that I'll probably upload on Monday. But Don Baylor is one of the people that I researched for the video. And in looking up his highlights, he bunted in the playoffs. Like, he was one of the premier power hitters they had. And he was making the right play, trying to get on base. And I was just like, this is in the 70s. Like, this will never happen now, where people are bunt. They probably don't even know how to hold the bat to bunt. Like, literally.
And you talked about
I agree
George
with
Brett.
Sorry.
I was going to say something about George Brett, John. Go ahead.
Well, you remember that year that he did that? He was suffering with hemorrhoids. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And there was a comedian. He was joking around that the guy that could hit but couldn't sit.
Was it George Carlin? Was it George Carlin? No,
I could picture him in my mind, but I can't remember his name. He was an old time comedian back then.
Carlin was good.
But he was suffering with hemorrhoids, and I mean, come on, that's hard to fight through.
Well, I remember.
You got to give him props.
I think James, you and I are the same age.
Oh, sorry.
I was like 8 years old, and George Brett had hemorrhoids, and it was like I was like, "What is this?" Like, he wasn't playing, and he was assaulting 400. And I'm asking people, I'm like, "What's hemorrhoids?" Like, just wandering around, no idea.
But you talk about bad luck. Like, that might have been the only time he ever had him in his whole life, and it's when he's batting 390. Trying to bat 400.
That's crazy. I almost forgot about a question I want to ask you guys. I see Eric Classic Cards is on. He's a big Angels fan. And I posed this question in a chat room. With the free agent money being spent around, imagine if Ohtani was a free agent right now. Would he be within his right to ask for 80 mil, which is like 40 for being a great pitcher and 40 for being a great slugger?
Well, that's what you're saying.
It could be made a case for that, can it?
Yeah, I mean, he's the only person that can argue it, but you have to take that into account. I mean, why do you think he won the MVP? He was the definition of an MVP. I mean, the Angels didn't go in, but I mean, he's the most valuable person possible. I mean, he's on both sides of the spectrum. He's on the mound, pitched well. I want to say elite, pitched very well, but then he was an elite hitter. So I mean,
Yeah, he certainly lived up to the hype, right? If there were any naysayers, he certainly disproved him, at least for that year.
Yeah, and
He had just an amazing season.
yeah, I think moving forward though with Ohtani, you keep him at hitting. I mean, he's a phenomenal DH, great hitter, great power, but maybe
If he stays on the Angels, he's got to pitch.
I agree.
Who else is going to pitch?
Syndergaard, but he's just as fragile as he is.
Let me ask you guys something. In the history of the Angels, think about who their best pitchers have ever been.
Jeff Weaver.
Right?
Jared
right.
Weaver.
Jared, which Weaver? I don't know. But you got Chuck Finley, right? Dudes like this, like Mike Witt in the early 80s. I mean, for some reason,
Frank Tanana.
Frank Tanana, probably the best pitcher. You're right. But it's
Nolan Ryan was their best pitcher.
Yeah. But I mean, they don't. You're right. But I mean, his ERA wasn't low. He never won a Cy
they
Young.
had Abbott too.
Jim Abbott.
Jim.
He was a solid pitcher.
Yeah. Other than Nolan Ryan, though, these guys and Tanana, these guys are solid, but they're not Cy Young quality guys. And they have all this hitting talent over all these years, right? Remember when they had Reggie and Rod Carew and Carney Lansford or Doug DeCinces? I'm sorry. They had a really good team in the 80s. And in the late 80s, they had a good team. They won a World Series, but man, they're for some reason people go there and they just is it Colorado? It's not, it's sea level. I don't understand why people can't pitch in Anaheim. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they keep
they
trying.
don't have a whole lot of history there. Although that dude did pretty well. That played in the Naked Gun. What was that during the World Series?
Reggie Jackson was in the.
Who was the pitcher in that movie? I forget.
It was Reggie Jackson.
But was it the pitcher in that movie though? Was it a real pitcher? Wasn't it a real pitcher?
I don't think so. Mark Langston. But it was Reggie Jackson.
I think was it Chuck Finley?
No, I don't. I can't remember. That was a long time ago.
With the Vaseline in his hat.
I feel like
play ball.
I feel like Ohtani has to pitch though.
Yeah, well,
I do too. I
understand he has to pitch, but would you do spot starts instead of doing like a regular rotation, or would you have him come in relief at the end of a game just to, prolong his career, his arm?
Well, listen, when you're with a team like the Angels, I mean, you are playing for the fans.
Yeah.
Right? You're not playing to win anything. You're playing for the fans. And that's what we want to see. We want to see this guy hit and pitch.
Well, you can see him pitch every day if he's coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, if he was playing for the Dodgers or Houston or something, maybe not. But he's with the Angels.
Card Closet just responded. Mark Langston. He was one of their best.
Oh, he
Mark
was the one in
Langston.
Naked Gun?
I'm awesome.
You did call that.
Yeah. I got a question now. With the lockout, do you think it's going to affect card prices?
I do. I think collectors who collect vintage, I think vintage is going to just be steady, but I think like the new guys, because 2021 was horrible for rookies in my opinion. I just think cards are going to just drop. I mean, I'm seeing cards everywhere now, but I also think that's due to Topps seeing a shelf life, and now they're just printing cards and just throwing it out there. And but I think the off season is always slow anyways, right? When it comes to baseball, not a lot of products. People are interested in other sports. And that's when I usually buy.
Yeah, but don't you find that baseball is not quite as much as the other sports in the off season? Like baseball seems to pretty much stay steady. I do see that with the other sports a lot.
What do you mean, like dip in price?
Yeah, like dip in price. Baseball has always, over all the years, always seemed like pretty steady. It's always kind of surprised me, actually.
Yeah, vintage stays steady, but I think like the modern stuff of that year usually takes a little dip or slows down. And then when spring training starts, the excitement, the players, the free agents, the new free agents going to the new teams, then they pick up a little bit towards like February, March.
Yeah, I don't think the lockout will affect card prices really at all, unless it's a true lockout and they don't play.
Yeah,
But
which is great for me because I hope they dip. I mean, I hope.
Yeah, right. So we could get some deals for a change.
I'm good. I mean, let's compensate for COVID because COVID has shot up. So let's have a year where. But then
there you go.
No baseball.
We need like a 2008 real estate collapse so we can buy them all up before they go back up again.
I got a question up here. Thoughts on the Wander Franco deal by Eric?
Yeah, I mean, it's the Ronald Acuna. You remember when Ronald Acuna signed that 7-year, $100 million deal and people lost their minds? Like, this guy is 20 years old. What are the Braves doing? The Braves were thinking like the Tampa Bay Rays, just thinking out the box. And they're like, look, is there a risk on our side? Yeah, we're investing $100 million before this kid is, arbitration eligible, 20 years old, had one good year, but they saw these contracts. I mean, look at Tatis. The reason they did that is because look what Juan Soto is projected to make at his next contract. He's projected to make $500 million. $500 million for the next 13 years. Because he's 24? It's insane. Right. So some people are like, oh, Wander left too much money on the table. But you got to think, this kid is from the Dominican. $200 million is life-changing money. And say he blows out a knee playing pickup basketball. This money's guaranteed. But the way the Rays see it, they'll control him at least for the 5. Because they're not going to keep him for 10 years, 12 years, whatever it is. They'll have him for 5 years. And then he'll play for the Yankees because $20 million for Wander Franco is a deal.
Yeah, I think.
And mentioning Tatis, that's Mangini's favorite player, right?
I'm not anti Tatis. I just don't think he should be a shortstop. I think they should move him to second.
My 11-year-old son says, "How can you win the MVP if you make all these errors?" Like when they were talking about him for MVP, and my son is 11.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, how can you be the MVP when you lead the entire league in errors? Yeah. I mean, this is where the game is now. All we care about are home runs. We don't care about batting average. We don't care if they make 82 errors at shortstop, as long as they're hitting. It's just what it is. But I mean, if he was, I don't know, if we were just all frank about it, he should move to second because his errors are all throwing errors.
Yeah.
And I would move him as a baseball coach. I would move him to second where he has shorter throws, and we won't have to worry about that. And he would be a better defensive player there.
But
that's just me.
They did that with Gleyber Torres this year. Eventually, they gave up with him making so many errors, and it was affecting his hitting. With Tatis, it's not even affecting his hitting, though.
No, but I mean, that's a tough throw from shortstop, That's a tough throw, and when you're making tough plays. So, but the thing is, he makes a lot of throwing errors.
A lot.
Yeah.
And they're not all dynamic plays. I mean, sometimes he just throws the ball away.
He rushes,
on a simple play. It just makes sense to me to move him to second. That's what you do with really good fielders who don't have the strongest arm or most accurate.
MY Yanks fan says he's worried about Tatis's arm. It's going to fly into the stands along with the bat. It's true. He kept what was it, like his shoulder was hanging onto a thread. He dislocated a few times.
Yeah.
And
I imagine he'll have to have surgery on it at some point here soon. He probably tore his labrum problems, I imagine.
Right. So I got this in the mail, my first pickup since
give me a hint. Is it pre-war?
So
is it pre-war?
I'm wondering if you have any thoughts what it could be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give me a hint. Is it pre-war?
It's vintage.
I mean,
I know. 1955 Don Hudson.
Don Hudson, maybe.
Hey, give me.
Maybe Jerry Rice.
Vintage can be a lot of things. Give me a 15-year gap.
50s.
50s.
This is up George's alley because he just did a
Jackie.
vintage showcase with Mike Moynihan and Don.
Is this Jackie? Is that Jackie 54?
No.
56.
Mini
That's a
Minoso.
little pricey.
Ah,
This is a little more affordable.
keep that down. I'm trying. I got my eye on a mini Minoso.
56 Hank Aaron.
No. It is someone with a lot of MVPs, though.
It's a Yogi Berra. It's Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra. Campanella.
You got it right, Mangini.
Yogi Berra.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah. 54 Bowman.
People
It's
wish you had.
3.5. And I got this bad boy for under $60.
What?
Wow.
You got that for under $60?
Yeah.
Man, the
Look
card
at the
market's
center.
crashing.
The center
Card market's
is exposing on this.
It's going down.
It's
Wow.
going down.
Unbelievable. Great.
Hey,
find.
Bob.
Hey, see.
Well, this is, hey, Bob.
Hi,
Hey,
Bob.
The big 07.
Happy birthday.
Oh, now you want to be shy. Get out of here.
7.
Go. You gotta go to bed.
So this is for my MVP run. And in the 50s, I'm a little past 50% of the way.
Look at
These
Eric
are the
talking
ones I
about
got
David
so far.
Fletcher. David Fletcher for over Simeon.
This is the one I got today, which is 54.
I can't believe you
I'm
got that for
missing
$60.
55. I got 56,
$60, man.
57,
7. Love that 57.
and 58. So I'm missing a few, but I'm almost done with my MVP collection.
Yeah. I love that
You
57.
know, I just wanted to ask you, you said you're missing the 55. Throughout my entire collecting history, from when I was a little kid, I could find 1956 tops everywhere. But I, growing up, and only had one 1955 in my entire collection. It was a Don Mossy. And more recently, I started adding to that set. But does anybody know why that set seems like so much tougher to find, and especially in great condition? Because like the 56s, you could still find very sharp ones.
Yeah.
But the 55s, most of the ones you find are pretty beaten. Does anybody know why? They seem so much more rare to me, or scarce.
55 tops. 55
Maybe
tops.
the
has,
rookie class made it collectible.
I mean,
I don't know. It's just like my entire collected life. Like those are not as easy to find as a 56, and they're certainly not as easy to find in top condition.
Yeah, I agree. I did a Jackie Robinson video years ago, like my third video, right? I was talking about the difference between 55 and 56, at least with that one card, that Jackie Robinson. And the 55 tops there are half as many graded by PSA as there are 56 tops, Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
I know people tend to gravitate towards the 56 a lot. I personally like the 55 better, but it's just a tougher, for some reason, there's just fewer of them out there. And I wonder, like you're saying, John, I don't know if it's the print run, but I'll give you an example. Like I recently picked up Clemente rookie, finally, and I've been looking to get one, but they're so off. Thank you. They're so off though, right? The Koufax rookie, it's so off. 56s aren't off like that. So it's like there's fewer of them. They're harder to find, like centered. You can find one that's fallen off the side, or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know what it is.
That
there's
50,
a lot of them.
Yeah.
But my thing with the 55, the reason I think it's harder to get is because I think, in my opinion, I know, you got your 55 people and you got your 56 people. To me, the 55 has always been more desirable. So when you find a nice 55, people don't let go of those 55s. Set collectors, to me, 55 is more desirable than 56 because you got the trinity of Clementis, Koufax, and Killebrew for rookies. And 56 is just operatio. So that 56 is easier to put together. I guess when people put it together, they'll break it up, sell it. You have a 55 set put together, you're not breaking that sucker up. When you
I
find
don't know.
55s, you're not selling those 55s. I don't know. I don't know about the print.
I don't know. I mean, the 56 set has always been beloved.
So
I it's it's just a beautiful set. Yeah, it doesn't have the rookies. The only big rookie is the Apparatio, but it does have a mantle, and there's no mantle in the 55 tops.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
you have that going for you.
So all right, I want to pay a little attention to Liam, who's asking, Minoso, do you guys believe he's going to Cooperstown?
So that's
Who?
52. Yeah, the Minoso. So I've been alluding to like cards I've been looking at and not telling people about the secret card. The 52 tops Minoso is the card I've been chasing this Christmas because 52 tops is super iconic. And you think about rookies, like true rookies in that set. Of course, you got Willie and Mickey that, everyone wants, but you have a Hall of Famer rookie card in the 52 tops. The moment they mention his name, I have a sneaky suspicion that card is just gonna rocket.
Skyrocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this: how long did he play in the Negro Leagues?
What, like 9? Was it 9 years?
Was it 9 years? Because now that they're adding those statistics in, they're gonna really make all those players that came up later in their career, to the pros, a lot better. As far as overall stats. But I think most people think he should be in the Hall. I think.
And Ray had he had a little video on who he thought should go to the Hall of Fame this year.
Excellent video. He's so good with the Hall of Fame stuff.
Yeah, I love that video. But Dick Allen is one of the other players I think should get in. Very underappreciated, and he dealt with a lot when he was coming up. Racism and all of that, and through all of that, he still was one of the beasts. Who else do you think could get in?
I think one of the guys they're looking at, and I've been actually arguing for him for a long time, is Bad Bill Dalen.
Yeah, I've been hearing. I don't know much about him, but people have been saying him for a while.
He was supposedly one of the top shortstops back in the early 1900s. He played for Brooklyn, and he was supposed to be one of the top, possibly the top defensive shortstop. Although Honus Wagner was exceptional, but one of the top. And I know he's up. And the other guy I think should be in is an 1800s player, Bob Carruthers, a pitcher.
Oh, okay. I know about Carruthers. What about you, George? Who else do you think might have a chance to get in?
Buck.
Well, I'm not a big let a lot of people in guy. I'm just not. And I never took Harold Baines out of the common pile when I was a kid. Okay, Harold Baines is a great player, but I mean, when you are surprised yourself when they tell you you're a Hall of Famer, you made the Hall of Fame. That's kind of, I'm just being frank here. So, I think Minoso should get in. I looked it up. Actually, I think he only played 3 seasons in the Negro Leagues when he was real young. But I think his influence for Cuban ball players, I think he deserves to get in. I think that Carruthers deserves to get in, and I think that Dick Allen deserves to get in. Absolutely. I think Dick Allen is he's just got a raw deal from the media and a lot of stuff that was going on at that time. And that dude, if you think Jim Rice was terrifying to pitchers, I think Dick Allen of that generation would tell you it's this is like Jim Rice, Dave Parker, and a couple other guys rolled into one. So I would choose those 3 guys.
And he has such a violent swing, almost like Sheffield. If you look at film of him playing, it's like his swing was so violent. I could only imagine pitchers back then trying to pitch them. He was so imposing at the plate. So I agree.
Oh yeah, and I don't, John, I don't know enough about the shortstop you're referring to comment on it, honestly. There he is, the Hall of Famer.
But you know what? I found this in my honey hole. It was like 80 cents when I put the package together. But when I got home to sleeve it, it's an O-Peachy.
Nice.
Yeah, I just saw it because I was like, it has no creases. I'll pay $1 for a Hall of Fame rookie card. And then I got home with O-Peachy. I was so excited, made my day. I was like, O-Peachy.
Well, they're harder, yeah.
So
how about Gil Hodges? Should he be in?
He's a fan favorite. It's almost like Ali Reynolds. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Reynolds in, but like when Ray mentioned him, I was very surprised because either I don't know. I mean, of course he has the Yankees going for him. He won a lot of championships, but I mean his overall numbers, I don't know. Like you
I would
said,
like to
Yeah,
hear.
I think he had one amazing World Series, didn't he?
yeah,
That he's really known
like I said,
for.
like he was a good player, but this is the Hall of Fame. I'm
Yeah,
with
like
you. Let's put everybody in because let's make them feel good, and this is a great time, and I want the best of the best in the Hall.
Is Dave Parker the best of the best?
Oh, I don't know. That's John.
Dave Parker belongs in,
The
period.
Cobra better be it.
That's ridiculous. He was considered the best player of his era, and he was a five-tool player.
That was a ridiculous question.
And in fact, he would have been a running back in the NFL if he didn't blow out his knee. He would have probably chosen football.
All right, let me
But
ask someone who's not a Pirates fan. George, is Dave Parker a Hall of
Hey, I
Fame?
grew up watching that guy day in and day out.
I know, man. I love Dave Parker. I really do. I think the 1980 Dave Parker, the 1981 Dave Parker, the 78 Dave Parker. I mean, all those Parker cards are awesome. They really are. But I think that what separates Parker and makes him a Hall of Famer is not just what he did on the Pirates, which was awesome. And he won the 77 MVP and he won batting title, great all-star game, won the World Series in 79. But people wrote him off. And then he went to Cincinnati and he almost won the MVP in 1986. And if Pete Rose managed the team, and Pete Rose said there wasn't a guy who worked harder on that team than Dave Parker. And he was a leader, and he made Eric Davis become the player he would become. And then
That's right.
he was cast off again. And then he went to the Oakland A's, and he mentored the Bash brothers. And he was with Dave Henry. I think he was with Hindu and those guys and Canseco. And then they cast him off again. And then he went to Milwaukee, and he had this killer season where he was like in the top 5 at MVP voting. And so I think Dave Parker, just wherever he went, I mean, we think of him as a Pirate, and John, I know
he's a born leader.
Yeah. Dave Parker made changes and differences wherever he went. And I think that's the main reason that he's a Hall of Famer to me.
And he played well everywhere he went. Yeah. But he was,
dope nickname, Cobra. Oliver, not so much.
Hey, Scoop. It's Scoop, baby. He had the necklace that said Scoop.
And now we got a question up. Ink Paper Wax Collector wants to know, is this Bonds or Clemens year?
No. It's going to be Kurt Schilling, and that's pretty much it. He's the only one that I think is worthy.
And Kurt Schilling.
Yeah,
How
Kurt
about
Schilling.
Ortiz?
No, he failed a drug test.
What?
He gets in. Everyone gets in. And
who?
He's
Who
in
did he say?
Ortiz.
David Ortiz.
Oh,
Look,
He's
I like
beloved.
David Ortiz. He's likable. A-Rod lately has been getting likable because he's on Fox and baseball. But the thing is, David Ortiz, you can't just pick people. You can't pick and choose. David Ortiz failed a test. It's not a secret. Everyone knows it. There's people. Bonds never failed a test. He ain't getting in. David Ortiz failed a test. Why should he get in?
I have a tough time with any steroid guy, but at the same time, Clemens has been getting a lot more votes, and Bonds each and every year has been getting a lot more votes. So
my theory is they're going to fall off the ballot. They're going to fall short but I think I don't know. Some people say the player era might get them in, years down the road, but I think the players hate them more than the writers. they don't like the steroid guys.
Well, Schilling called them out.
I don't think the players that are in the Hall.
Oh yeah, Pudge.
Yeah.
Pudge definitely, bro. Pudge all day. Guilt by association. He was a Ranger. Just by association, he had Juan Gonzalez, Jose Canseco, Rafi Palmeiro in the same clubhouse. Yet he gets in. Come on, bro.
Speaking of great catchers, this year Posey retired. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
He doesn't have a long career though.
Most catchers don't. I mean, what's he got? MVP 3 World Series, Commander staff. I mean, everyone was talking about Kershaw being the pitcher of the generation at some point, but who was always winning? Mad Bum. Posey was directing all that traffic, and he was like the leading contributor to that. It says a lot.
Wesker
I think
go ahead.
I think he'll get in.
You think he'll get in?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the baseball channel, everybody always they put him in the all-time catcher list, like one of the top all-time catchers. I don't agree with that, like one of the greatest all-time, like top 3 or something. But baseball writers and fans seem to, so he'll get in.
Yeah,
I was shocked to be
He
tired.
deserves to get in. He deserves to get in.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I don't.
just-
My problem with this is that Baseball Collector Mike did something on his channel when Posey retired, comparing Posey and Thurman Munson and their numbers.
Yeah.
And their numbers are strikingly similar. And yet all these years have passed and Thurman Munson isn't in the hall because he was taken, right? But Posey chooses not to play. I understand his knees are bad, his ankle's bad and all that. But it's like, why is Thurman Munson not in? And Buster, we're talking about Buster Posey being the top 10 catchers of all time. Munson would have played at least in their 5 years.
Yeah, but that's a problem. For baseball fans, you have to play 20 years, or they don't want you in the Hall of Fame. The only exception I know of is Sandy Koufax, and he was so amazing in the 10 years he did play, or for most of the 10 years that he did play, you couldn't ignore him. But I mean, come on, that's what it's all about. Everybody, they want those total numbers. If you could play till you're 43 and put up all those stats. Harold Baines played a long time, right? So he ended up with a lot of total stats, but was never one of the top players ever in any year. Nobody ever considered him one of the top players, but he amassed a bunch of stats, right, over time.
Right. And Vintage Cards is saying Posey versus Joe Mauer. Who gets in first?
I always like Posey over Mauer. I thought Joe Mauer was always overrated. Solid player.
Yeah, I'd say Posey as well. Although I think Molina is better than all of them.
Yeah.
Molina came on offensively later in his career. His first few years, he wasn't that great offensively.
No, but the Molina family was all about catching. Working the rotation, dominating. Hitters. Yeah,
He could be on my team any day. He could be on my team any day.
Made
my
his
catcher.
Hall of Fame candidacy once he started hitting.
Yeah,
and the longevity. I mean, he's been.
But he was kind of a clutch hitter, right? Like he seemed to come through when he needed to.
Very timely hitting.
Yeah. You know who else was like that? Yogi Berra. He was known to be a timely hitter. Like when you needed him to get a hit, he got one.
Brian
seems
McCann.
like we lost George.
I think he probably was just sick of us and hung up.
Most people get that way, don't they, bro? Hey, okay, to get off topic, you got an itinerary for next week or week 2? Rachel was
I need to talk to you to see what you want to do specifically.
I want to eat. I want to eat good.
Okay. Do you have a preference in what kind of food? I mean, we could talk about this like when we're not live if you want.
Oh, come on. This is what people come to see.
We have great restaurants down here. Do you have do you have a preference?
It's like what was that? Behind the Music on VH1. This is what people want to see. Now I'm dating myself. Liam was like,
what kind of food do you want?
Whatever, it don't matter to me, bro.
Don't matter?
Yeah.
Just want a nice place?
Yeah, something, not franchising, something that's like.
Oh no, Charleston.
Yeah,
here.
something that's like the bones.
Phenomenal
of the
restaurants.
Yeah.
No chain. No chain.
No Carrabba's.
Did you want to come to the card room or no?
Yeah, of course.
How much you charging them, John?
Bro, John, I've been working out, bro.
Okay. Yeah, because when you come into my card room, it's like those drug houses where they make the people who are working with the drugs and the money get totally naked so they can't put anything in their pockets.
I've been working out, bro.
So yeah, I told him he better be in shape.
John's gonna have footage of he's gonna have footage of him sliding stuff in there, putting stuff in.
Yeah, I
All right,
got the
gotta go, John.
I got the glove to check you on the way out.
Yeah. Is this gonna be like Pulp Fiction, where it's like Christopher Walken is talking about how he was saved the. Anyway.
No, but me and Rachel can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
George.
Oh, I'm very excited. But here's my Cobra autograph bat.
Yeah, future Hall of Famer.
Cobra baby.
Future Hall of Famer. He'll get in.
Gonna wiggle it.
I wanna commend you on that that vintage thing that you did with Mike with the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I had a question for you and John. I don't know if Lou Rock wants to chime in a little, being that he doesn't have too much pre-war, but if there's a pre-war set that you would say is like your favorite or worst, which one would it be your favorite first? I guess, George, you could kick it off.
Pre-war favorite set. I mean, you have. I mean, it's either got to be 41 play ball or Gowdy 33 Gowdy. I mean, you can go more obscure sets. I understand that, but I love the 41 play ball, the colors, the Art Deco design. It's just pops. And then obviously 33 Gowdy is 33 Gowdy.
See,
I mean,
48 Leaf like a beloved set, because 48 Leaf, every time I see that, I love it. And like the players in that are phenomenal.
Oh, I think that's probably one of the best post-war sets. I think it's like you're within a couple of years, right?
Yeah, a couple of years because
of pre-war, post-war. But yeah, it's right there. I mean,
so John, how about you?
Well, I mean, growing up, I have a few. I hate to say just pick one, but growing up, definitely the 41 play ball was definitely one of my favorites. The 33 Gowdy as well. And then I always loved the 33 DeLong and the 33 Tattoo Warbit.
Yeah.
I personally love the Diamond Star set because of its design and the artwork.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have the star power that the Gowdy set has. And then
right.
the P206, I'd have to say, is just iconic on its own. I guess sort of like the 52 or the 33, it's right up there with iconic. But it's just a lot of the players you just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to collect it, it's how do you go about collecting it? Do you go by the backs? Do you go, trying to collect it in all the different ways you could collect it? So that could get a little challenging. Some people just do the Hall of Famers, and that's enough. And then they try to get obscure backs. So
who's the biggest guy in the diamond?
To collect, and the fact that it's very rare, and in some cases it's not even as expensive as you would think with some of the players. But I think it's a fun set.
I'd say the biggest player in the Diamond Stars set's probably Hank Greenberg and Lefty Grove. Lefty Grove, yeah. And Jimmy Fox catching.
Mm-hmm. I have that.
I've seen that one.
Here's a rapper that came in. If you never saw one,
that's so cool.
That is.
I love the Bill Terry. It's a cool pose.
So cool,
yeah, my favorite card of Jimmy Fox is the Diamond Stars. It's the first Jimmy Fox card I bought was that one because I just love.
Yeah, that's I used to be able to get those very, very affordably, and I never picked one up. And now I regret it because I have probably most of the set. The Rogers Hornsby too. I forgot about him.
I love how he could just
and the Lefty
dig in
Grove.
a box and he has all the Diamond Stars there.
Yeah,
nice.
This is a pricey card now.
Yeah,
Lefty Grove though, one of the greatest pitchers ever.
And Lou, how about you? Do you have a set that you kind of like when you see it? You just tend to gravitate to it?
Yeah, I gravitate. I can't afford nothing. The 48 Leaf, I thought, I know it's at the end, but like the stuff I'm trying to dip my toe in because pre-war to me is very daunting. Like just all the obscure sets, learning the candy cards, the e-cards, the tobacco cards, stuff of that is like, to me, that's a lot. and I don't, and, you know, buy it raw because I'm not too much of a graded guy, but like the 48 Bowman, every time I look at it, I want to. There's so much good stuff in it. You got the Rizzuto, you got Spawn, you got Ali Reynolds,
And the best part is it's got Babe Ruth in it.
yeah. I mean, like that. How do you not love
Oh,
that?
that's
I mean, you got Ruth, you got DiMaggio,
Yeah.
you got a Ralph Kiner rookie, you
Yeah,
got
that's
Ted
what I'm saying.
Williams,
48 had a lineup.
Johnny Mize,
See?
Phil
I love
Rizzuto.
and that's why I like the Leaf. That
You
48
got Stan Musial rookie. And they had these.
Yeah.
I love how
good. Gene
whipping
Hermansky.
them out, churning
Right.
them out, churning them out.
Hey, do you guys know about the premiums that came in that set?
No, bro. Speak. Prove.
Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. These are kind of tough. There were a couple of different versions of them,
So
but they were Leaf
distributed?
premiums.
How was that distributed?
I think you had to send in for them. Like most premiums, you would collect wrappers and send in. I believe that's how they were distributed.
That's so freaking cool.
Lou, are you talking about these Leaf cards?
Yeah.
What's that?
Here's an uncut sheet of those boxing cards.
Like he just pulls it out of a hat, bro.
He's like this, like a magician. Like pulling
How do
it
you
out
even
from
do-
everywhere.
That's why I'm called Mangini.
So, Reese and D said the Cracker Jacks. How can we forget about those? The Cracker Jacks are one of the most iconic.
Those are
sets
outstanding.
and
Those are
most
outstanding.
Cracker Jack's phenomenal. Like I said, I can't pick one or four or five. They're all so great. You asked
Pick your favorite
which one
kid.
we didn't like the most. I can't even pick one I don't like.
Yeah.
If there's one that you like the least, which would it be?
I'll tell you what most people will tell you, probably, and I disagree with them only because of the rarity of the cards and the checklist of the cards is the T207.
That's the long
But-
one, right? The Mecca?
No. The they're Little Recruit cigars mostly. They have different bags.
Oh, is that the chocolate
They're-
ones?
They're kind of cartoony a little bit, but
Your
it's
boy-
one of the toughest Trish speakers. There's a Smokey Joe Wood in that set. There's a Walter Johnson, and it's. I mean, there's so much more rare than the T206 is.
Yeah. James's boy said the same thing. T207 from Breakout Sports or Breakout Cards.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that set, but I mean, I do. There's a Rafael Almeida in there. He was one of the first Cuban players in baseball history, and he only has one or two cards. I mean, he won't. I think there's one other one of him. I know he has at least two, but tough card to get. So I like it for the scarcity, and some of the cards are pretty cool looking. The Joe Tinker's kind of cool. The Eddie Seacott in that set is amazing. It's a
So,
beautiful Eddie Seacott.
Rick Vintage Abo Card said T207 is ugly. Come on, John.
It's like, come on, John, you're ugly.
Come on, man.
And that's an aficionado talking right now.
I dated some ugly women too, but they look great to me. They look great to me. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, they all need love, bro. Ugly, beautiful, they all need love.
I like the T207. I know David Blue Jacket 66 always gives me crap about that, but I know most collectors don't care for that set, but you know, it's a rare set. It's like these imports.
Stoudemire.
You know,
Hey, Stoudemire's co-signing now. He's
Josh.
co-signing.
Oh yeah, that's the card you stole from me, John. The Lefty
Oh.
Grove. I was
stole
going
the
to buy
Lefty
that
Grove?
Lefty Grove, and you bought it. Yeah, that's the one.
Muskrat.
gun.
these cards are so rare. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
makes them. They're little novelty, cartoony cards, but they're so tough. So you know, I mean, it makes them nicer than they maybe are. I'll say that.
So that card was on eBay for a little while. I'm watching it. I decide I'm probably going to buy it. I go to look. It's gone. 2 weeks later, Mangini does a video. Check out my Lefty Grove. I'm like,
Dude,
it's the only one on eBay because they're so rare.
I bought this within seconds of seeing it because it was a good price and it's so rare. I mean, you can't. They had one other one on
It's so
eBay
rare.
and the whole face was torn off. Like you couldn't even see his face. There was a hole through it. That's
Yeah,
most
he
of
was
these
like
are in really beat
one of
up
the
condition.
faceless men from Game of Thrones.
Well, I'm sorry, man.
The Hound.
Rick is saying T205. Now you're talking.
T205 is a tough set, way more rare than T206. I love the T205s. And Rick, if I had Rick's collection, if I had Rick's cards, I'd throw all mine away.
You know which one I think is underrated? The pastel ones.
Oh yeah, Sporting Life.
The Sporting Life pastels.
There's like a Matthews and a Cobb.
The Sporting, the Sporting Life set. Yeah, I mean they're all portrait cards, and not like for me, I prefer the action shots. The action cards. But they're nice. I have a bunch of them. They're very nice cards.
My friend calls them the yearbook card set because they look like they just have a button down and they're doing a yearbook picture.
Yeah, there's some nice cards though. Yeah, for sure.
I think they're undervalued also because you could look for
I agree with that.
And you'll find them very affordable in that set in high grades also.
Yeah, I agree. I got some in 8s and I picked them up for next to nothing.
Yeah, so it boggles my mind when you could look up like a Home Run Baker or even like a Chrissy Mathewson and they're going for almost half of what a T205 or 6 goes for.
Yeah, but so one reason is it's easier to find those in high grade than it is the T205s or the T206s. For whatever reason, you could find those in higher grade. I don't know why they were kept nicer. Because let's face it, like if you see a T206 that's graded above a 5, you got to be suspect because they didn't come out of the pack a 7. They were in these soft packs. So try to find them. When you find those real high grade ones, I have to question them.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I mean, it's also
before.
Yeah.
It's suspect.
It is
for the way they were packaged because the intent was not to be collected and revered like how we have them now.
Right.
So they didn't even come out of the package like you said in decent condition.
Yeah, they were in the soft packages. The guy would smoke, and then the little kids would run up and beg them for the card.
Yeah,
it is how it used to work. So the kids would stand outside these stores and wait for somebody to buy cigarettes, and they couldn't wait to get their hands on these cards.
Right, and I think another set that's interesting is the 1920s caramels. Those are good because they have a lot of stars in it, and it jumps.
Yeah.
It jumps from year to year. Sometimes you can't find anything but strip cards, and then boom, you got a nice set going.
The cards from the 20s can be very, very hard to find, very rare. Like the Willard's Chocolates, the Oxford Confectionery, these 575, cutout cards, hand cut cards. These are super rare. Like this is the only one that PSA ever graded of this Walter Johnson. I know there's another one though because there was a guy on Facebook that he put out there. He was looking at this card in an SGC holder at a card store outside of the Baseball Hall of Fame, and he put on. It was a little bit rough, but he put on and he was asking if he should pick it up, and I'm like, grab that baby, because this is the only one I know that exists. So I know there's at least 2. So he did. He bought it.
Reds count as cards?
Do what?
Turkey Reds.
Do they count as cards? Are those the you mean the cabinet cards?
Yeah, the big ones.
I mean, to me, they're all cards, right? I mean, there's no definition that a card has to be a specific size. I mean, postcard, it's called a card. It's a card, right?
And George picked up a Jackie Robinson Type 1 recently. You're getting into photos now?
Type 1.
Yep.
Oh, I was influenced by Rick, like I was telling you guys or before we started the show, but man, the photographs out there. And then you get them and you kind of look at them and I'm like, I don't know photographs. Like if I looked at a card and along the line, John, of you guys talking about 20s cards, like here's a Grover, strip card, right?
Yeah.
And it's got a grade and all that. I bought this myself, subbed it, and it got a grade, right? So I looked at this card. I'm like, oh, I know what a card looks like. I know a card looks authentic or not, right? Over the years. But with the photos, I'm like, I don't know what type 1, type 2, type 3, all that stuff is. It just looked good to me. And the guy was purporting that Jackie was a type 1. And I'm like, all right. And so took a chance on it, subbed it, and it got, it was type 1. So maybe the holder they put it in is fantastic too. Really nice. So
Do you have it
I
handy?
think no, it's far. I was.
Okay.
It's far.
It's across
It's in his
the house.
bedroom.
And,
It's in his bedroom.
yeah.
It's in
But
his
I
bed.
want.
Okay.
But I wanted to show the movie, to show that scene in the video that I had done. That was on my channel a couple days ago. But I wanted to show that scene of when he's coming on the field, and that's when the reporters are talking to him, and then Clay Hopper, the manager, comes in, who was raised in Mississippi, went to Mississippi State or University of Mississippi, played ball there, real Southerner. And they said, hey, Clay, you're manager of this team. You're going to get Jackie Robinson. And he's like, I don't want him. And then Branch Rickey said, hey, you got to take him. And then they won the championship that year in that league. So they won the championship multiple times. And he's in the minor league, I think, Baseball Hall of Fame. And so he has some of the most wins of all time. Anyway.
Yeah.
And that's your guy, right? Jackie Robinson. How many items do you have, Jackie Robinson wise?
Well, unlike many people, I don't have a spreadsheet. I had collect the stuff. I kind of keep it in my mind. I don't know how many. I don't know, a couple hundred. Just buy them when I can. Pins, cards, photos.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I wish I had a spreadsheet. That surprises me. You're not a spreadsheet guy.
Yeah,
because I know you took notes or you have bullet points for this conversation.
Not this one, but yeah,
No?
yeah. So there you go, right there. What year is that, John?
That's awesome.
I don't know. I just thought it was a badass pin, and I picked it up.
It's total
badass pin. I mean, it's from the 50s, but I don't think it's earlier than that. It's just it's such a cool pose of him. And do you have one of these 1954 New York Journal?
I do not. I was going to buy one, and then all of a sudden, what happened?
The price
it went
boom.
Bananas. New York Journal. I picked up a blue tint, 48 strip card blue tint a while ago. Thankfully, I did. But there's all kinds of there's a Hocus Focus, John. Is that what it's called? Little stamp, Hocus Focus. It's been
there is,
pretty
but
expensive.
Is there is Jackie Robinson in that? There is.
Yeah, he's in that.
What year was that from? They're kind of like the 48 Tops Magic Photos.
Yeah, small.
Yeah.
It's early to mid 50s.
Yeah, I might not have any from that set. Oh, darn it. Now I got to get And now I got to get a Hocus Focus. I'm working on at least one card from every set.
So you're a Clemente fan. What Clementes are you? Are you on the prowl for any Clementes right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I may not ever find one, but of course the holy grail for Clemente's
68
Clemente
3D.
collectors 68 3D, right?
68 3Ds. I saw,
and I've come across some good ones to buy, but I just never could pull the trigger on how much they're asking for those things.
The next one I want that's attainable will be 64 Top standalone.
Yeah, I have that one.
And there was
let me be a magician again.
It's one of those cards that I've had the opportunity. James actually had that card at the National for what, 200 or 250?
I can't recall, but I was I didn't haggle with
steal.
him yet. I just wanted to know if you wanted me to try to haggle.
Yeah.
Well, you know what makes these so rare is they came in 1 card packs.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that.
1 card packs. But the one I'm on the prowl for is the 60 what is it, the 63 Pittsburgh exhibits. They were given out when I grew up in that area. Our school always would go for our summer picnic at everybody's school was at this park called Kennywood Park. And in the early 60s, these things were given away. And that's the only place you could get them was at this Kennywood Park. They're known as Pittsburgh exhibits, and they're very, very, very hard to find. If you go on like eBay right now, you will not find one of Clemente.
Yeah, I need
Mark
to-
says 69 Top Super is another hard one to get.
Yeah, I need. There's actually two other cards besides the 64. The 70 Super, I need the 1970 Super, which isn't cheap, but the 71 Topps poster, which is a beautiful picture, and that's super tough.
That's tough. I've seen several of them. I've had the chance to buy that many times, but I just never did.
Yeah,
I actually prefer his other posters. The 68s that we have is, I think,
This
a way
one?
nicer poster. Yeah, because it's always been one of my favorite poses of his. It's the 69 Topps card pose. I just always like that. And then you have the 67 stickers, right? The Clemente for Mayor. He has 2 stickers. Those are very tough.
The tattoo.
The IDL drugs. I have an IDL drugstore over there. That's a super tough one. Of course, his cons cards.
Oh, those cons. Yep.
Rub down.
Yeah, the rub. They have. I have the one with the instructions. I had an opportunity to buy one with a clear back, and now I'm kicking myself because I bought another Clemente instead, but I haven't been able to find that one.
Oh yeah, it gives you the directions on the back, not clear back.
Yeah.
His signature cards too from the Pirates early 70s. Those are tough. And they were everywhere when I was growing up, and we weren't into them, so I never picked any up. Now they're going for hundreds, maybe thousands. So and I have another.
This reminds me of like 86 Fleer basketball. I used to go down to the store and I'd bought a couple boxes of 86 Fleer basketball because there hadn't been any basketball for a long time. And you're pulling a box of basketball, you get like 3 Jordans in each box and 3 stickers, and it's like whatever. So I had those for a long time, and it wasn't a big deal. There's Jordan stuff everywhere, right? Right. And all of a sudden now, everybody, Jordan is Jordan, right? And Clemente is Clemente.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, man, wow.
George, I was the same way. I just refused to. I never wanted to pay the money because it was expensive from the get-go. And when I say expensive, I mean expensive compared to what you paid for other cards. And I just you could get that anytime. I mean, look at it today. Yeah. The one thing that amazes me is it's a great card. It's Michael Jordan. It's a rookie card. I get it, right? I get the price on it. But what amazes me is if you go on to any auction, you can pick up still unopened boxes of that set. Every auction you go to. So how many of those did they produce?
More than the Mike Trout rookie.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many boxes. You could still buy the unopened boxes.
I know.
Anywhere.
You got this one, John? 65.
I don't have that one. No, I don't have that one.
This wasn't too bad to get.
What is it? A transfer? What year was 65. That from? 65.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any. I think I might have one from that set only.
And now they're asking, do you have a Sinella Ruth? 32.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's 3 different variations.
There's 3 different variations. I'm not really into them. I had 2 different variations. And I didn't like the holder that one was in. So I had sold it years ago. Because it was loose and I hated that, and I kept the one with the tight holder. So yeah, they actually have supposedly 4 variations now, but honest to God, I cannot tell the difference between it's either the 2 and the 4 or the 3 and the 4. I can't tell the difference.
Like the tint.
All it is it's where the Sinella margarine is on the back, where the Sinella is on the back of the card.
I think Dave
sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes it's the bottom. And there's, like I said, a 4th variation. It's very convoluted and suspect. Some people don't believe it's actually a 4th type. So that card was so undervalued, you could get it for $100.
Oh, they were giving those things away 5 years ago. You could buy a 5 for like $200.
Less than that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Nobody even wanted mine when I was trying to move it because I had 2. And I was trying to buy some other stuff. I couldn't give the thing away, and now all of a sudden they're going for big money, and I'm stupid for selling it.
Yeah, it was like a dealer at Long Beach who we've known for a long time. We're talking about Burke Ross, which is my moniker for my channel. It's a Jackie Robinson. He's jumping up, right? And that Burke Ross set, 52 Burke Ross, he's like, nobody wants that set. Nobody was going to want that set. And I'm like, yeah, I like it though. And it's like that card that's got 52 Mantle. It looks just like the 51 Bowman Mantle, right? That card is like a 5-figure card now. And the Maze is incredibly expensive, and the
I
Jackie
always
is
loved
expensive.
that card.
Yeah, and you couldn't. And I like the tint on it. It's got kind of this. The images might be the same as other images, but it's just got this kind of overlap tint to it that's really cool. But anyway, that's got a bunch of other cards. Obviously, Musial, not so slick. He's leaning over. But that Burke Ross set, 51 and 52, it's like now things have changed. You know, you're like, wow, I want to buy if I'm going to get a cheaper Joe DiMaggio, I'm going to buy a 51 Burke Ross DiMaggio. I might only have to spend $500. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but
that's
really
what makes
crazy.
that set extra special. Is not only does it have all different sports in it, like it has a Jesse Owens in that set, for instance.
Yeah,
it has a Jake LaMotta, but you have the only cards of Joe DiMaggio in 51 and 52, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was in any other set, so that's the set if you wanted DiMaggio.
Yeah, I got the 51 DiMaggio, and I bought it for around $200 for, I think it was a 5 or a 6. And
yeah,
at the time it was a ho-hum card, but I was like, I don't care. It's a Joe DiMaggio, and I don't have to spend $1,000 for one of his other ones. And now it's gone up a lot, especially in that grade. But it's true, there's hardly nothing. Even his exhibit is going for like $200, and it's something that's not even that great of a grade. It's just anything Joe DiMaggio, they're so scarce.
Well,
they fly.
Yeah. I like the 52 better. Now technically that's right after his playing days, but he had just retired. So 51 is still during his playing days, but the 52 is the full pose, and I got it in a 7 hanging on my wall, and I think I paid less than $200 for it at the time in a 7. But I like it because it's a full pose, and the 51 is the same shot, except they just took the upper part of them.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Ted Williams. You can't get a 52 Ted Williams, but in that set, right? Is there any other Ted Williams? It's just his face, and it's got a really blue background. If you get a nice one, it's a really great card. There's a couple guys like that. You can't get them anywhere else during that time.
Hal Newhouser is a tough one. You get him in the 48 leaf, which you're paying 4 figures and up, or the 53 tops, and there's like hardly nothing else in between those few. He's a tough one. Well, listen, guys, it's been almost an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know. Is there anything you guys want to throw in there, or are we gonna wrap this up? It's longer than I thought we'd go.
Yeah, right, bro. We talked longer on the phone. I know we covered pretty much. We covered the lockout. I collect Ichiro was talking about the Hall of Fame. We talked about the Hall of Fame out the gate. Lockout, Hall of Fame, showed baseball cards. Talked about my trip with John. I don't know. I think we got it covered. Oh, real quick. What are you asking Santa Claus real quick? What's that one card? For me, it's the 52 Manoso. I got Tony Perez rookie I picked up. I also picked up, what else I picked up? I can't remember what I picked up. Oh, the 58 Cepeda. These were on my wish list.
Christmas came early for you.
Yeah. And but 52 Manoso is the 52 tops Manoso.
How about you, George? What's on your wish list for Christmas?
I don't know. I just want everybody to be. It sounds like a generic answer, man. Everybody in the community be happy, healthy, have a great holiday. And if somebody wants to send me a 48 leaf Jackie Robinson, I'm fine with it.
Told you that 48 leaf is beautiful. Every time I just stare at it.
And how about John? What do you got on your wish list?
I still have these
Hocus
two
Pocus.
cards.
A Hocus Pocus card.
Yeah, I need one of those. I really want the 68 3D Clemente.
Oh my god.
The 33 Gaudy Gehrig and the 38 Gaudy, 33 DeLong Gehrig, and the 38 Gaudy DiMaggio are still on my want list. Those have been on there for a long time.
Yeah,
On the
no,
38
Wow.
Gaudi, which one do you want? The one with the cartoons or no cartoons?
I'd take either.
Okay.
Any.
Whichever one you want to send me, man. I don't.
Yeah, all right.
That's what I did with my Bob Feller rookie. The first nice example that I really wanted that was affordable, a good price, I grabbed. So
Mhm.
I actually prefer them with the cartoon. But I guess in order to have the complete set, which I'm close to, you have to have both examples, right?
Yeah, that's
The
'Cause
only guys I know that have him on YouTube are you get Rated Rookie and Josh, and New York Yanks fan 7 Vince.
Yeah, I've been trying to get Vince to send me one now that he's into comics. What do you need?
Yeah.
What do you need a Joe DiMaggio for? It's not
Yeah,
like
you could send him a Thor and get a Joe D.
right. Oh yeah, I'll have to see if I have any comics laying around. Maybe I can make a trade.
What about you,
my
James? What are
one
you
wish
thinking?
list card that I have for Christmas is I'm smaller than you guys. I don't think as grand, but a 57 Hank Aaron, nicely centered. That one's been shooting up. Like over the last few months, it's gone from a 150 for like a 4 to like 300. It's almost doubled in the last few months. So I'm trying to make a push to pick that one up now. Or a 51 Yogi Berra. That one, I just cannot find a nice example of the 51 Yogi Berra.
Man, you
And
got me
You
thinking.
mean the red back, blue back?
the
Redbacks?
green background 51 Bowman. He looks like he's in
Oh,
a dugout.
Bowman. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's gotcha. I was thinking
He's
tops.
just
I don't know why you
smiling
said
there.
Bowman.
That's a tough one though. You hardly ever see a nice example come up, and when it does, it goes for a lot of money. So,
Same with the 50. Yeah.
and low end 50 Rizzuto. The 50 Rizzuto, I can't find one with nice registration. The registration is so up with
Did
the
you-
50 Bowman. I keep getting
If
frustrated.
you watch Don Field of Dream Sports Cards, he picked up a 50 Bowman Rizzuto, and I think this is around the national time, and it's just gorgeous. He bought I think the 4 instead of the 5 because the 4 was dead on. Registration was great. Check it out. He's jumping up, right? Big green background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that card is so hard that you need
Beautiful
to get
card.
it with nice registration because you won't pick up all the little details. And
Yeah.
if you don't have the nice details because he's cropped so small,
Yeah.
it's not. It looks nice. It's still a Rizzuto, but it just doesn't look as sharp. I'll punt the corners. I'll punt the off centering, but I just wanted to have really nice registration. That's
Yeah,
how I feel.
I'm the same way. I will go a grade or sometimes 2 grades lower for registration and centering. The registration is more important to me than the corners because I want to be able to see the image. And some of those old cards that are drawn on, or they're little pieces of art, right? And it really takes away from the card if that image is whatever you call those flaws they have. Like the 54 Hank Aaron is notorious for having that cloudiness. I don't know exactly what you call
Snowing?
it, but
That's
yeah,
it
the snowing.
At the
Yeah,
qualifier.
that card, is notoriously like that.
Yeah, and then with the card you showed, Lou, the Orlando Cepeda, that one usually has all the fish eyes all over the red.
Oh yeah, all those little printing dots. It drove me crazy, but I saw like 4 Cepedas, and this was the nicest one. That's why I put cash and a card. It was a cash and trade. But there's print dots all throughout. But
He's another underrated player.
yeah, but the card was beautiful. Everything was great about it.
So
Yeah.
guys, I just got a card I've been searching for a while. I just finally grabbed one.
The baby bull.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rocky
Oh.
Marciano, baby.
That's a dope
1951
one.
ringside.
That's
Oh,
James.
right. Is that Marciano?
Yeah.
James
The
all
only
over
undefeated
that.
heavyweight champion, man.
hold it up
His-
again. Let me see it.
That's James.
His training regimen
that's
was
his arena.
insane.
1.5.
So it's
I
a
think I have
1.5,
something
but
similar to that.
I have to tell you, if you shop for these cards, you will find 5s and 4s that you don't want, right? They're notoriously off center. They too have a lot of registration issues. This has some like a little dot there down by the box, but man, it is well centered, and the registration and everything. The corners are nice. This is one of those situations where they have to give it a specific technical grade, but the card looks way better.
That's why I like when those back pages, Eric, when he shows the card, he always covers up the number. He's just like a card. And it's true because till you say 1.5, I didn't even.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you had this raw, you'd be like, "Wow, that's so sharp."
That's like
but
sick. I mean,
you know, like
the border's all nice.
Yeah.
Mine is
If
raw.
you shop for this card, you know how hard it is to find a nice.
I'm scared to ask you what you paid for that.
Well, you can ask, but I never answer.
$3. $3.
$30, John. $30. Right it on $30.
$3.
$3.
Yeah.
You can go clean my windshield.
I respond to every comment on my page. Like I at least I read every single one. Respond. If it's something that requires a response, sometimes I just like it, but. Except for when people ask me what I paid for something or what my collection's worth or something like that, I just never answer. Yeah. It's not about the money.
I paid for that Marciano. I think it was around $50, but it was raw. And then now not now, but recently I peeked in to see what they've been going for, and I was shocked to see how they've gone up a lot.
They're ridiculous. Like in the higher grades, they're going for like 1,400 to 1,600 ish.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a $300 card 3 years ago.
You could have picked up like a 5 for like 200, like a few years ago.
Yep.
And then I didn't want to pay $200, so I paid $50 for the raw one that I have. And it's a nice one, but it'll probably grade like a 1.5 or a 2. But I was fine with it because I knew I didn't break the bank. But now I see these prices, and for beaters, all wrinkled up, they want like $200, and I'm like, it looks like it's been run over, chewed up by the cat.
James, I couldn't even find beaters for 200. The beaters were still way up there.
Wow.
Hey, New York Yanks fan, what's he saying? Is he offering me that trade for the comic book? I can't read that.
Is that great card?
Oh no, he's just saying great card when we were talking about the Rizzuto.
I keep trying to get that DiMaggio off of him.
I thought he was talking about the DiMaggio.
Oh, well, probably. I probably put it up late, but
yeah, those boxing cards. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know, like this Sugar Ray. I bought it's a 3. I bought it raw for $50. I subbed it for $10. Whatever, it's a 3, and it sat there at the same price for like 5 years. And I'm like, this guy's the best pound for pound boxer of all time. I mean, come on, like, or at least arguably. And it's like, now I looked. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going for way more money, and I'm like, maybe I should hold on to it.
Well, have you seen the prices of Jack Johnson lately?
Yeah, Jack Johnson.
He's gone through the roof.
Really?
Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah, I mean that always hold.
The Graziano was the big card.
Cards. Yeah, Graziano, that one, the Leaf. Yeah, that's a very that's always been a pricey card.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
When'd you get that?
The record, there's the Record Journal. I bought this, I don't know, 2 years ago. I saw that boxing cards were so cheap, and I fell in love with them because just like baseball, they span so long. And when I saw some of these going for like $30, $40, I would just jump on them all day long. Like all these cards, Super Road, great grades.
Wait, who was that? Who was that you just showed?
Primo
was that
Carnera.
Dempsey?
No, Primo Carnera. This one is Max Smelling with his mom on Mother's Day.
That's a good.
Yeah, I actually have a good bit of boxing cards.
My boat, man.
Since MMA became popular, I can't even tell you who the heavyweight champ is. I haven't known a heavyweight champ in years.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, right.
I gotta pick up a Tyson Fury. I don't have one of his.
He doesn't look like it, but he's tough as hell.
Yeah, he's like 6'8", 6'9", big dude, man. That reach is incredible.
There goes Jack Dempsey.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
And the Cowboys are horrible. How can you be a Cowboys fan? The Saints literally have no running back, no receivers, and they're on their third quarterback, and they're up by 3.
Is that Jack Johnson?
Yeah.
That's tight. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
There's a
Mecca.
card of Jack Johnson,
Mecca.
I
Yeah.
want some more of
There's-
him. I have
What?
2 of them.
What's Mecca? What was that like? A tobacco?
Mecca
it's
was
cigarettes.
cigarettes. Yeah.
You know the Mecca double folders and stuff like that? They made those cards. This
That's
is a
dope.
pretty expensive card right now.
That's
Oh
Tyson
yeah.
or something. Is
That
that
card's gone up a
is that
lot.
considered his rookie?
Yeah, Mike Tyson rookie card. Let me see what else I got here. Look at
Do you have
down goes Frazier.
Joe Frazier.
That's nice looking. And that SGC slab, that shit looks tight.
That looks great.
You have any
James, I didn't know you had so many boxing cards.
Bro, that's his world. You woke him up.
Yeah, he
There
looks
goes
like he's
mine.
awake now. There it is.
When you start
Wow.
bringing
Look at that.
boy walked off the stage, walked off
Center,
the camera
nice.
on his cards. He's big in boxing.
Here's the man. I got a.
Did you
few
guys
of
watch
these.
the documentary, the Ali documentary by Ken Burns?
No, Ken
I've
Burns
seen
didn't.
a lot of stuff of his.
Yeah, it came out about a month and a half ago. Maybe
No.
Floyd Patterson. Nice.
Yeah, I got wrapped up in it. It was excellent.
What is
Oh.
it on? Netflix,
Fun.
Amazon? Anything Ken Burns does, I watch.
I don't know. I was
Oh,
just
wow.
passing through. I saw it on
PBS?
TV.
I'm
It's
trying to remember. I think it might be PBS.
It's a
like you got to
two-part
subscribe to
series,
PBS.
right? Weren't there 2
3.
or 3? 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Who's
check
that?
I can't see.
Riddick Bowe.
You're supposed
elephant.
to guess who it is. It's George
Okay.
Foreman.
Oh, that's
George-
Foreman.
Looking
Yeah,
like Hannibal
like-
Lecter.
Yeah, the Elephant Man. But he's got a great grill. The grease just rolls right off it. Sugar Ray.
He's got
What's up
Man,
with the
yeah,
hat?
I mean, I was a big Sugar Ray fan when I was growing up. He was flashy and fun to watch.
Mhm.
Oh, he was great.
Plus he was called Sugar Ray. Come on.
I'm gonna see what else I got here.
You got Hector Camacho.
This is Larry Holmes.
Camacho was a good fighter.
I
This
love
is
him.
Is
the
that
great
is that the
picture of
Hitman?
Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes.
Do you have my cousin Boom Boom Mancini?
No, I don't have that one. Let me see what else I got here.
You got
You have-
This is-
you have
this is
Chavez?
Blue Rock.
bro. You beat me to it. Julio Cesar Chavez.
There it
He was
is.
a great fighter.
Yeah, Hector Camacho, man.
Chavez beat the heck out of Sweet Pea Whitaker, and they didn't give him the fight. Sweet Pea ran the whole fight. He ran from him the whole entire fight. And Chavez kept coming at him. I think everybody that watched that fight thinks Chavez
The
won.
Golden Boy. Oh, Whitaker,
Although Sweet
Whitaker
Pea was
super
fun.
fast.
Yeah, and he was fun to watch, no doubt. But he didn't win that fight.
Here's a sweet one. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, that's a panini, right?
Yeah. If you get the Mike Tyson in this, we're talking thousands.
Now, do you have the? I have a really cool Sugar Ray Leonard action pack test card from 1991.
Uh-huh.
You know how they made the action pack football?
Right.
Well, you know, a lot of people don't realize that they made some test cards for hockey and for boxing. So I have the Gretzky, the Lemieux, and the Sugar Ray Leonard.
There's another Muhammad
Oh.
Ali.
That's it. Here's that.
I think this is 76.
That's it.
Montreal.
Oh, do you have the little square? I have like 3 of them. They're like from 1976. Bond or the name's escaping me. The little ones. It's an action shot of him like this in the Olympics. They look like a bigger Sugar Daddy card.
No, I don't have that one.
I gotta show you that.
A lot of people have these Churchmans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you have a few, no, John?
yeah, I do. I have I think I have 3. I have Joe Louis
Yeah,
Kid
you got
Bird.
Joe Louis.
and I picked one up recently. Who was it? Tunney, Gene Tunney.
Yeah, we were at a show a couple years ago, and my
Here's
buddy
my
had a Joe
oldest
Lewis. Ogden's.
That's,
Oh, those are tough.
John L. Sullivan.
Is that Sullivan? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that from? 1902?
It might be.
I think it's 1902.
No,
I think.
I gotta look it up again. I bought this a long time ago.
I
But
have
this is my oldest card.
Yeah, I have Old Tom Morris in that set. Do you guys know who Old Tom Morris was?
No.
I do not.
So he was a championship golfer, and he is responsible for why the cup is the size that it is now, because he would beat people so bad, and he was a great putter. And the other golfers argued that it was an unfair advantage because he was so much better at putting than they were. So they expanded the hole to try to make it more fair for everybody else, and he ended up beating them worse because it just made him a better putter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Wilt Chamberlain in the key when they made the key smaller because he can't stand in there, right?
Right.
Wow, that's interesting. That's really cool.
Old Tom Morris, a golfing legend from Scotland.
Hey James, you got me thinking about boxing. Do you have any Arturo Gatti or Mickey Ward? Those 3 fights.
Mickey Ward.
Bro, legendary. Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti, great fighters, but when they fought, bro, those were battles.
Hey, did you ever watch Carbajal and Gonzalez go at it?
Carbajal.
They were like flyweights, and they would just stand there for the entire fight and just punch each other.
Yeah,
and
that's
one would go down.
right there.
That's a dope.
Oh, nice. Carbajal Gonzalez fights. Look those up. What? I mean, they were just classic. They fought like 7 times or something.
Julio Cesar. They fought 7 times. They were the top.
I don't know. I don't know how many, but they fought a lot.
Who was the second fight? Carbajal and who?
Gonzalez.
And they were
like
this guy
flyweights.
right here.
And they would just stand there and beat the hell out of each other.
That's Mills Lane. Let's get it on.
Celebrity death match.
Hey Lou, did you? There was a fighter I loved growing up. I used to watch all the Friday night fights and everything.
Yeah.
I see a lot of the lesser known fighters, and one of my favorites was Buddy McGirt. Did you ever watch him fight?
McGirt, Dirt.
Yeah, I loved him.
Yeah, I remember him.
Buddy McGirt.
Yeah,
I have his card.
Recent guys.
Now, growing up, I used to love Camacho. Then it was Felix Trinidad. Tito.
I got Tito. Let me see if I find Tito.
You should. Puerto Rican legend.
There goes Vinny Pazienza with.
I was never a De La Hoya fan.
How about Roy Jones Jr.? They used to say pound for pound, he was the best fighter ever.
Yeah, he used to box with his hands down because he was so fast.
Yeah,
so quick.
Yeah, I
mean, Roy Jones.
Yeah, some of the fastest.
Now he ended up losing later in his career, right?
Because he lost his speed. He was just so fast.
There goes Tito Trinidad.
Yeah.
Oh, Tito Trinidad
against, Golden Boy put him on the map, but man, the Mexicans were so mad. They're like, he didn't win. But Hector or Golden Boy, he was boxing. He was being too technical because he thought in his head he was ahead on the points. I'm like, man, if you do that, you just don't leave it to the judges.
Yeah.
You can't leave it to the judges.
That was a great era. Like that era with Tito Trinidad, De La Hoya, Vargas, those guys. I mean, it was a good era in the early 2000s in that division.
The card I want, I can't find one, is Butterbean. Come on.
I think they made one, but it's like a spoof card.
That was one of the most fun fighters to watch, man. Butterbean.
He was like what Jake Paul is now. He was just a celebrity who could throw a punch.
Yeah,
that's all it was. He was just a sideshow.
He was the Bartolo Colon of boxing.
No, he wasn't. Bartolo hit a home run, bro.
No, who's that big pitcher that they bring in? He throws like 40 miles an hour.
The big pitcher that throws 40.
He's real like overweight and he throws like 40 miles an hour.
Now?
I saw some film on this.
Rick Russell? Who?
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Like currently he's overweight and throws 40.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. I gotta look up these videos.
Who's CC Sabathia?
No. It wasn't a big name.
Come on, bro.
I don't know if it was at the end of a game or what. I saw this video. They brought this guy in. He was throwing like a little.
Willie Ostadilla.
Oh, that might be him.
He's a position player, and he threw
Yeah.
40 miles an hour. He's real overweight. La
Yeah,
Tortuga.
Yeah.
Tortuga.
What
Yeah.
was the circumstances of that?
They were getting blown out.
Okay.
So they just Jose Canseco'd him. We need an arm, get us through
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he threw,
Except
struck
he
someone
didn't
out
blow
with
his
that
UCL
40
out
miles.
when he was pitching like Canseco.
Yeah, no, but he struck someone out. No,
Yeah, that was the joke. Yeah, he threw a heater at like 60 miles, and then he went back to his go-to 44, 45 mile per hour pitch. He was just he learned from Canseco. He didn't want to throw out his arm. He just threw it over.
I'll tell you what though. Anybody that's played baseball knows if you're getting your swing is grooved for a 90-mile-an-hour fastball,
Bro,
and somebody throws you that speed, it's actually way harder than you think to adjust.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people think, oh, you could crush it. No, it's all about velocity and all the science to it. I mean, he's just throwing dang floaters. I mean,
it's about your timing, you know.
Yeah.
There was a pitcher for the Reds. What was his name? Mario Soto. I think it was Mario Soto. I think. And Dave Parker was up when he was with the Pirates, and he threw him. He would every once in a while throw this lob ball, and it would go straight up, and you just wait forever, and it would come down, right? Like it's a big lob ball, and Parker's up there, and he throws him that lob ball. And he winds up like he's gonna kill this ball. He just takes a big swing and misses it completely and strikes out.
well,
It's like the funniest
And
thing.
then he totally corkscrewed himself in the ground, right? Because he's always twisted, right? Yeah.
I never saw. I mean, he just took the hardest swing I had ever seen him take. It was pretty funny, but he should still be in the Hall of Fame though.
there were some people who used to throw the hiatus pitch, and that's pretty slow.
What is that?
The ball, like you said, goes up and comes down. But I
Ephus,
think it's called a hiatus pitch or something.
Ephus, I think.
There you go. That
was
reminds me of my youth right there.
There you go, man. 79 Cobra. Ephus
The
pitch.
Cobra.
Yeah, Ted Williams, this jackass was throwing the Ephus pitch in the All-Star game, and young Ted Williams hit a bomb off of him. Because he's Ted Williams.
I mean, I never heard it called that before. See, I just learned something.
I think it's hiatus.
Ephus. It's
Ephus, I think. PH, right?
Ephus?
Yeah, EPH, Ephus.
Oh, ephus.
Back in the day, a lot of pitchers threw that, but when Parker was playing, they didn't. Like that was like old school stuff.
And well, Mario Soto was a strikeout guy. He had led the league in strikeouts with the Reds, or at least was close. Yeah, he was a fastballer. He wasn't.
He was a solid. He was a solid pitcher.
Look at Scott. Look at Scott.
Look at Scott. Thank you, Scott.
What'd he say?
You guys still yapping? I gotta go hide this elf. You guys going?
Yeah.
All right,
On the
guys,
shelf.
I guess that's our cue that we're on too long. Guys, I guess I'm gonna put a wrap to this thing. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Back into putting up content. It's been a little while, a hiatus. A lot of people have been wondering where I was at. It's been health reasons, and that's it. And you'll start seeing some content. I'm putting the bow ribbon on a video that I've worked on for the last few days. So that'll probably be up by Monday. I think I'll put it up. And then from that point on, I'll try to be a little regular. I don't know.
Glad you're back, brother.
Yes,
But-
glad you're healthy. We Lou and I were worried about you there for a
I thought you hit 1K and just retired on top of it. He hit 1K and was like, I'm done with this.
And George, thank you for joining me, man, with these other guys. I know you were.
It's a total pleasure to hang out with these guys. Really. Total pleasure, Lou. John.
When I called George, he was like, sure, I'll get on with John and Lou. He says, let me just check my schedule. I was like, oh, Lord, here we go.
No, it's a pleasure for me to be on with you, George.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. Scott says he's happy to see my smiling face. Thank you, Scott.
Next time I go live, I think Lou's going to be here with me.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I wish I was there personally.
Shirtless.
It's not too late, James.
No,
Sure,
now
yeah,
they
in
say
the buff.
shirtless, I'll pass.
Well, you know what's funny? My wife, she was like, "Oh, it's so cute. You guys are visiting each other. Is James flying in to?" I'm like, I don't know.
Well, after the bar incident, he won't hang out with me anymore.
He was legit worried. He thought we were gonna come to like fisticuffs, bro.
No, I thought it was gonna be a barroom brawl with everybody. For those that don't know, Lou was egging on John, and John kept buying rounds for everyone, and it just started getting out of control. $3 drinks though, $3 drinks.
I wasn't egging anyone on. I was spitting facts.
No,
Facts.
That big guy, that big guy was getting. I thought he might be getting upset there for a minute, and I was really had him going. And when he was such a good sport, I had to buy him drinks.
And he knew his stuff. He knew it. He had some.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It was a great time though. Great memories. Great hangout. It was so much fun. Can't wait to hopefully do it again with you guys. But for now, I'm just happy that you three joined me, and. Now, this was a great kickoff to get my groove back. James got his groove back.
Okay, Stella.
Anyway, thank you guys, and thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for my future content. See you on the next one.
Like and subscribe.